I can do that. I can do that. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Chandler. Doglegs, Kyle Bush, Double A. Doodlebug. MVP. Good to see you guys in here early. Just open up Discord for myself. Yeah, dog. You can go ahead and ask. Bang. Got that posted for you. All right, the cars are rolling off. This should be fun. This should be fun. And then shortly after this race begins, LSU will be playing. So I'll have two things to keep my eye on. Probably not a great idea to force any of them to follow along with us, but if they want to watch the race with us, that's fine. All right, so as they run, Jesse Love is 2 below the cut line. Sammy Smith is 7 below the cut line. So very close. I believe this is the first race of this second to last round in the playoff. So we have Las Vegas, Talladega, and Martinsville. That'll be the 3 that decides who makes it to Phoenix. So keep an eye on that. Because if someone could lock themselves in today, that would be huge. NASCAR in Nevada, IMSA in Georgia. Yep. Somebody was asking on Twitter, why can all of IMSA's races be broadcasted on Peacock? They're also owned by NASCAR. So why can't NASCAR races all, be broadcasted on Peacock? Well, the simple answer is NBC probably bought the rights to IMSA broadcasting for like $3 and some pocket lint. Extremely cheap, so they're not worried about getting a crazy return on investment. With NASCAR, they paid probably hundreds of millions. I don't know what the TV deal was, but I'm sure it's insane. And they are looking to make a return on investment, so they're driving customers to USA or to whatever other channel they want to air the races on, and then occasionally we get some races on NBC, and that drives big sponsorship money. And the way the deal is written right now is what prevents NASCAR from streaming the race each week. Have I seen any of the IMSA race? Not today, actually. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what channel NASCAR's on next year. because USA is being spun off into its own company. So I would guess it's, you know, possibly going back to NBCSN. There's only about 2 hours and 30-ish minutes left in the IMSA race. Yeah, I'm aware it's coming back, but I'm not, you know, I don't think they've announced what channel it's going to be on next year. I don't really see them airing it on USA once it's spun off. All right, Justin Allgaier starting on the front row. Connor Zilic on the outside. So two JRM cars up front, 1-2. Behind them, Brandon Jones and Eric Almirola. So two Toyotas behind them. Then two Chevys behind them. So it's a Chevy sandwich right now. Toyota in the middle. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this ended night. Because, you know, they're a couple hours behind us. And the shadows are already getting pretty long. So in Las Vegas, there's the sunset is at 6:09 p.m. and that's Pacific. So 2 hours behind us. It might. It's 4:44 there now. So about an hour and 30 minutes. We'll have sunset. Maybe 30 to 40 minutes after that. We may actually see like complete darkness. We'll see. Double A thinks Allgaier will dominate. NASCAR should go to Road Atlanta. Yeah, I love night racing, Doodlebug. I love it. You are so right. Doesn't do well in ratings, but man, a Saturday night race is just fantastic. I always liked when the Cup Series raced on Saturday because it clears up your Sunday. All right, green flag. Allgaier out to the lead. Zilic not able to stay side by side for second. Move Brandon Jones up into second place. Have I seen the 24 hours of Le Mans? Yes, indeed. Uh, 16 minutes late. Hey, better late than never, Warren. We have plenty of race going. Doodlebuck says IMSA going to be back on NBC at some point. I wish they would do the whole 24 hours. I mean, I guess it's not feasible to do it on NBC, but at least on NBCSN. But the Peacock coverage of the Rolex 24 isn't bad. From what I've heard, though, the European coverage is much better. Oh, yeah, it is LSU time. That's right. I was actually trying to find the game. I have my ESPN website pulled up, but it's not showing me the game. Oh, there they go. They used a photo instead of... Okay. The event hasn't started yet, apparently, so I can't view it. Even though kickoff was set for 6:45. All right. It did start? That's frustrating. That's very frustrating. Why will they not let me watch the football I pay to watch? Dirty dogs. Dirty dogs. I'll just go right to the website. The website sucks. There's nothing on the website. Ooh. Christian Eckes washed up the track there. Got close to Taylor Gray. Close. What do you mean this event hasn't started yet? ESPN, stop it. Get help. Get help. They're killing me. They're killing me. I just want to watch my football. What is their problem? Allgaier has about a half-second advantage right now. Just cruising around. I have a feeling he'd be decent out here, but lately, Allgaier has been running, well at the first half of the race. Then his car falls off towards the end of the race. And like Doodlebug said earlier, we will be going into a nighttime transition by the end of the race. So the balance on the car should change. Yeah, I could try the app. I would rather not watch it on my phone, though. I guess, I mean, I could just pull it up on my screen, but, you know, I have the leaderboard up. I'd rather look at the leaderboard so I can monitor the interval. So, going under commercial for the first time, Justin Allgaier out to almost a full second advantage, and Eric Almirola right on the back of Connor Zilic. This would be a race. Eric does well. We'll see what happens there. Austin Hill 7th. He got, I think he got eliminated, right? In the last round? This is the round of 8, so let's see if they're just listing these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, yes. You won with the 6-7 car in Cup. Hey, good job. It's not letting me watch the LSU game. I do have, yes, I have both of those. I'm logged into the ESPN website and my TV provider is linked. I can view the Tennessee game just fine on SEC Network. So I should be able to watch LSU. But when I go to their game, it just says it hasn't started yet. Such a pain. Click on it again. This event has not yet started. Yes, the LSU game. Yes. It says 11 p.m. Thought it was 6:45 when the game came on. Is ESPN stupid? Yeah, 6:45. What's my dog doing? Just spit in my face. My dog smelled peanut butter. Oh, it hasn't started yet? Thank goodness. And I was just missing out. ESPN's saying it starts at 11. That is not what the schedule says. It says 6:45. Brandon Jones, right on the back of Jesse Love. Brandon Jones has fallen off a bit. You know, he was pushing for second when the game started. Kicking off now. Another game is delaying the network broadcast. Yeah, that happens. I don't want to, you know, go to SEC Network and then have... I'm just going to keep it on SEC Network. And once this game ends, it should switch over automatically. CW's not updated the lap count. My leaderboard is struggling on lap count. It's done that a few times this year, where the lap count gets behind. The interval will stay relatively updated, but the lap count lags. So I don't know. Maybe their data was just a little off. Yeah, LSU always gets the ball first. Because the opposing team will usually take it so they get the ball back in the second half. And Brian Kelly always opts to take it immediately. It said lap 1. That's hilarious. We're already over halfway through this stage. We're flying. We are flying through stage 1. They're making great time. Woo-hoo-hoo! Looks like they may have made a little contact. And maybe it was just the shadow, but they look very close. There we go. It switched over. Thank goodness. So 2nd and 8. So you got a 2-yard play on the first play of the game. What was my first NASCAR race to go to? I think Talladega in 05. I think it was 05. Oh, no way, Chandler. Wow. Yeah, I still have the program that they were selling that day for that race. No clue where it is, but I have it somewhere. So debris on the track. Looks like a decent sized chunk. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe a big metal part. So probably good reason to call it caution. 2022 Bristol Dirt. How about that? That's a wild one to start with. Jimmy Johnson die-cast sign from that race. That's really cool. I don't have a single 1/24th scale Jimmy Johnson die-cast. I have maybe 2. I'm looking at 2 right now. 1/64th. Kind of crazy. So I need to pick up a couple Jimmy Johnson low schemes. Probably can do that for pretty cheap for some of the older ones. Yeah, spring, baby. Spring race, I pretty much always get to. The fall race, only on occasions will I go to the fall race. LSU got the ball back. Let's go. Am I sleep deprived? Negative. We are loving life. It's under caution here for debris. Man, we were flying through stage 2, through stage 1. My bad. You want to go to Talladega? Next week. I was thinking about going Friday to the truck race, but I have some family stuff that day. We'll see. They have the ball here. All right, good little run there. Well, Chandler's been to Talladega. He was talking about that earlier. I might have been at that race, Bristol Dirt. I went to Bristol Dirt, I think every year but the first. Whenever that year was. I wasn't there for that. But each year after that, I was at Bristol Dirt. Very wild seeing a track that I've been to multiple times, you know, uncovered by dirt, seeing it covered completely in dirt. Dirt all up in the stands. You haven't been back since '05? Well, a lot has changed, that's for sure. It's not as big of an event anymore outside of the track. You know, you had NASCAR race day, you had Trackside Live, you know, actually broadcasted on TV. They're bringing back Trackside Live, like they've had it for a few years now, but it's not on TV. So it's a much smaller event. EMS is back on NBC. Yeah, we'll see if they do. Are you kidding me? Oh, unless you got 3 points. This team is so frustrating. That should have been a touchdown. We lose the game, you know. We'll look back at this moment right here. Missed opportunity to go up 7-0. Went to Nashville in 22. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Dega. The fall race just isn't great. Because, you know, like, you have college football Saturday, and then, you know, you have to follow that up with a race right after, and then, you know, go back to work on a Monday. That's rough. In the spring, you know, you don't really have anything going on. And until they fix the next gen car, I would rather see the Xfinity cars race at Talladega than the Cup races. You're going with... I'm not sure what you mean by that. Melbourne got a touchdown? Wow. On Georgia, right? LSU wasn't playing. I'd be watching that game. All right, green flag. Back out. Interesting, Doodlebug. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. But it is free. So, you know, free until they're 12. So you may take advantage of that. I think that's just for the Friday and Saturday events, though. I don't believe that is a policy for Sunday anymore. You've been to the 2018 Roval? Literally cried when Johnson wrecked. I had tickets to go 1 year, or no, a couple years. And I just haven't made it out. Discounted. A little heavier than discounted. You know, that's really the only benefit I have. A non-governmental service is pretty much the only benefit I still have. I'm very irritated about the whole GI Bill thing. I was told my whole time in to save it. Use tuition assistance, because when you get out, you won't have that anymore, but you'll still have your bill. Well, that was a lie. I went to Talladega in 2020. I was there. I was one of less than 3,000 people at the track. Well, I wouldn't still have it. I still wouldn't have the one that I don't have. I would just have a separate one. It was not fall. I believe it was in June. because the schedule got mixed up. No, it was the first NASCAR race back with fans, the first sporting event back with fans. It's very hot. Yes, you still have yours. You have a different one though. It's not the Reserve Select. We've been through this. It's just like, I wouldn't have saved it if I was aware. Because I just wasted it, you know? It's 2nd and 14, South Carolina. Almirola was able to get around Zillage to the lead. Zillage keeping him pretty close. A reminder to check in on the NASCAR mobile app if you guys are members of the Fan Rewards program. Yeah, that's a good point, Double A. It would be cool for like an off-season exhibition. I wish they would do more of that. Do like NASCAR's own version of the Snowball Derby somewhere. You went to Pocono 2016, literally slept in a car all night to watch Chris Buescher win a fog-shortened race. That was a wild one. That was a wild one. Yeah, the Roval's interesting because it's probably the best viewer experience for a road course. Because it is set inside an oval. But with how well Charlotte's been running the last few years on the oval, you know, it's like, maybe it's time to bring the second Charlotte date back. Racing side by side. This is me on NASCAR 25 trying to make a pass. Just side by side, lap after lap, diving it in. They get the advantage. I run them back down the straightaway. That's something. That's something. Just sent a text message to one of the work group chats. I don't know why they keep including me in these group chats. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to hear about work, especially on Saturday. What are we doing? These people must have no lives. Thank you for the super chat, King. $1.99. We'll round up to $2, two smack rolls. Oh no, it's a super sticker, not a super chat. I always missed that at first. anthropomorphized controller. Some people, all they think about is work. Yeah. Some people. The All-Star should be at local short tracks. Alternate the track each year. Alternating would be fine. Part of the appeal to the All-Star race being in Charlotte. Yeah, I saw that. Part of the appeal of the All-Star race being in Charlotte is because it was so close to the teams. So the teams weren't really being put out, you know, having to haul their stuff across the country to Texas, to Dover, to Bristol, when, you know, they can go right down the road. Literally for teams like Hendrick right in the backyard. And they could run it. And I don't know, I just miss the clash or the shootout being a big deal, as big as it was. And then, you know, at Daytona. And then the All-Star race also losing a lot of hype. Like, no one really cares about it anymore. I would love to see the pit crew challenge come back completely. That would be very nice. Because that was huge. That was like the spotlight on the pit crews. And you got to see who could perform the best in a head-to-head competition. It was really cool. Really cool. You can only find highlights for the 86 race. Interesting. Someone needs to send a strongly worded email. So Almirola gets their stage 1 victory. Zillage 2nd. Jesse Love 3rd. Justin Allgaier 4th. And I believe Ryan Segan 5th. Yep. All right, back under commercial. Once we come back, we should start pit stops, probably have another commercial, and then back to green flag action for stage 2. That caution did slow things down a bit. I think we're an hour away from sunset. What time was sunset there? Was it 7:09? Let's Google that again. Or 6:09. 6:09 is Las Vegas' sunset. So we should be an hour away. That doesn't mean it'll be dark. You know, but maybe 30 minutes after it might be. Wish the Clash never left Daytona. Yeah, it built up speed weeks, you know, and speed weeks used to mean weeks. You know, they had testing. They had, you know, a lot of practice sessions, group practice sessions. Then we had the shootout or the clash, whatever you want to call it. And then, you know, the duels. The Rolex 24 right before that. So, I mean, there was a lot going on at Daytona back in the day. And nowadays, it's Speed Week singular. And it's like 5 days of action compared to what used to be like 25 days of action. Yes, we're looking forward to the lights, Michael. We're looking forward to it. Remove All-Star race for a 37th point race. That's interesting. That's interesting. That sounds like an NFL type proposal. You know, they've been shortening the preseason so they can add more regular season games. What's the point? Well, it was just, you know, an exhibition. Go all out, no points, you know, winner takes all. And it was just about excitement, you know, putting on a show. That's something the track promoters used to understand. And so it was a spectacle. And $1 million back in the day was a ton. Nowadays, they're still awarding $1 million. They need to up the purse to $5 million or something. It's like winning $1 million nowadays, especially after taxes, is way less than what it used to be. Every race winner, that would be interesting. Yeah, instead of having the open races like they've been having, where every team can show up, it really does kind of cheapen the product when you invite all the teams and let them compete in an open format. It's nice because you get to see all the guys out there, a lot of cars, but used to when you won the pole, you were excited because you knew you were locked in for the shootout the next year. So it's like, yeah, cool. That was, something teams went for. Yeah, I mean, depending on where you're at. If you're in a nicer area, then yeah, you're definitely right. I would love to see what the average price of a home is in Staten Island. The median home price in Staten Island was approximately $725,000 to $730,000 in late 2024. It's not terrible for Staten Island. I wonder how much it would be just for a studio condo in a building in Manhattan compared to a full house in Staten Island. Definitely said at this point, just put 40 cars on Bowman. Great, let's do it. Let's do it. I agree, Christian. I think that was part of what made it special. Is, to qualify for the All-Star race, you had to do something. You didn't just run the open and or not even win the open, get the fan vote, which I guess that's fine. I guess I'm okay with the fan vote in the open, but yeah, they should definitely shrink the field a bit. I would love to see them do non-stock car events. Run like the Prelude, like they used to years ago. Put all the drivers in dirt cars. See how they do. Different stuff like that. It would be really cool in a infield stadium, making a really short track. A short road course with tiny, smaller cars. I forget what the event used to be called. I can't remember. But it's where you would have champions from different countries competing against each other. And Edwards schooled, forget who it was. Maybe Schumacher? I forget who it was. But it was awesome. And you would have, different drivers on each team. It was really neat. And they would just go head to head. And it was like one lap at the little indoor road course. That's who moved on to the next round. That was super fun. Make all the Cup drivers run the ARCA cars. So, NASCAR, if the teams had boycotted this last season, their plan was to sell charters to new teams, make new teams out of thin air. And that would be the base for the field. And then they would supplement the field by adding Xfinity cars and ARCA cars. So we would have had multi-class racing, and then the trucks may have also been involved. So we would have had a true multi-class NASCAR field, and they were going to balance the power of the cars. So you would have had, you know, old Gen 6 Chevy SS ARCA cars running against the ZL1, not Camaro. It would have been awesome. The alternate history that we could have had. Yes, SVG would dominate. Yeah, Daytona Road Course would be the best place to do it. I really enjoy that road course. Second and 8. Where have I seen this before? All right, the ball got there. First down. Be curious what it would look like with Cup guys running ARCA cars. It depends on, you know, what horsepower they would run and what aero package. I mean, if it's just straight up, you know, ARCA cars, I don't know. Might really resemble just a Gen 6 race. Well, not all the time, Michael. Not all the time. There was that one year that we had a 23-hour, 58-minute race. That was really odd. They should have run an extra lap, and they didn't. So the race ended early. All right. Coming to green flag. Almirola on the outside. Jesse Love on the inside. They are pushing hard. 2 JRM cars behind Almirola. A little side draft here. Jesse Love not able to clear here. The 19 is going to have some momentum here. Not enough. Not enough. Jesse Love fighting hard. Zilic pushing really hard here. So it looks like Zilic going to help out Almirola. I don't know if that's the best play. Not sure if that's the best play. I guess, you know, help the guy who's not your playoff competitor, right? We need more emojis. I can't have more until we have more members. They limit how many you have by, like, certain member numbers. We're at 5. We have 5 members. So I don't think I can add any more yet. I might be able to add, like, a single one. Yeah, it's not just his core. Allegedly, he also has a knee injury. Tendinitis. So, yeah, a couple issues going on there. Second and goal here. Okay, we're going back into shotgun. Oh my, did they score or is it a turnover? South Carolina has the ball. This could be really bad. All that for another failed attempt at scoring, possibly. Hopefully they say he was down. Or just a touchdown. I'd be fine with that too. Allgaier not looking great. He looked really good on that first run. Then when the caution came out, his car just didn't fire back off. Kyle Sieg a little loose there. Seems like every time he has a good race, something bad happens. So keep an eye out. We're due for a Kyle Sieg accident. Not Kyle. Ryan Sieg. My bad. The two Siegs confusing me. So apparently someone's hot micing. Is that Zilich who's being hot mic'd? That's hilarious. Yeah, how does a 24-hour race get shortened? How does that work? You can't shorten 24 hours. That De Benedetto car looks interesting. Why are people messaging still? Stupid work group chat. Told someone earlier, imagine if Allgaier is suddenly is championship relevant and wins 2 in a row and robs Zilich. I can see it. I can see it. We'll see how, Zilich does. He hasn't been running, the greatest. Not like his old dominant self from even just a few weeks ago. But, still decent enough. But Allgaier, he really excels at these West Coast tracks. So I could definitely see him pulling it out again if he can make it to Phoenix. Torrential rain. Racing in torrential rain is awesome. I love seeing guys out there racing through giant standing water. The true problem comes from lightning. I watch the Formula boat racing. That's really cool. They do just the drag racing, but they also do oval racing. And, you have an oval in the water. So, a very flat track, I guess you could say. So if they can do it, IMSA should do it too. Just put propellers on the cars, let them run through the water. All right, Jesse Love's looking pretty good. And the car's not firing off like crazy, but he's running Almirola down. Gonna be interesting to see what happens when more shade gets on the track. Whose car wakes up and whose car falls off. That's a touchdown. That looked like I don't know. I need to see that replay again. It looks like he crossed. I didn't see the ball come out yet, but I am watching on a smaller screen, so maybe it did. Yes, that's what I love. I love seeing the rooster tails. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. That's a really good question. Maybe Daniel Suarez. But it could also be someone like Corey Heim. He doesn't have a ride for next year yet. So we'll see. Pretty crazy that Harrison Burton's given them their best finishes ever. And, or their best season ever. And they're moving on to a different guy already, so. I don't know. I haven't heard much about that car. I see that. Almirola duking it out right now with Austin Hill. LSU should be up right now 14-0. And it's going to take the crowd out of the game. Temporarily, at least. That's just silly. Harrison's going to Sam Hunt. I could see that. Cole could move up. Interesting. Wonder I wonder if Cole brings any money with him, because that plays a huge factor in, you know, who moves into which seed. Golly. Flashbang with that commercial. All right, Almirola putting little distance on Jesse Love for now. Yeah, wet weather racing is an art form. It really is. The different lines you have to take, adjusting your braking, changing on, you know, when you apex or how straight you want to attack the corner. Really interesting. Some guys really excel at it. I was up 10-0. I think Auburn's decent. I feel like they, you know, kind of had, they got screwed out of a win against A&M. The refs were very against them in that game. Had a few very controversial calls. Even Auburn's, I believe it was either the president or athletic director came out and, you know, made a statement like, we're disappointed in the SEC. And even the SEC came out and said, yeah, that call was wrong. So pretty wild. And the way Alabama's been playing, not stellar. They've gotten incredibly lucky against Missouri and now, you know, today, Missouri and Vanderbilt. That's what I meant to say. Vanderbilt and Missouri. I don't know what I said. But anyway, I think they've gotten lucky, had a lot of calls go their way. Because Missouri very easily could have won today. Especially if that fourth down gets converted. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're pulling out wins, and I think they're a good team. Their quarterback's really good. But they're not consistent, and great teams are consistent. So I don't think, you know, they're a Nick Saban level team. So it's just a matter of time before they drop another one. You know, the team they lost to, Florida State, they're 3-3. They lost to Pitt today, an unranked Pitt, and now Florida State's going to be unranked. Maybe they continue to improve, but I haven't really seen a lot of improvement. If anyone's gotten better, it's their quarterback. Other than that, not too sure. This offense sucks. I'm going to hire an Uber to run over Garrett Nussmeier. Not to kill him, just to rough him up enough that he can't play. He's probably our best quarterback right now, but it's just painful to watch them go out here and run this pathetic offense. I guess I'll also hire, extra Ubers to run over the offensive line as well. Oh my goodness, Austin Hill almost died. That's what's up, Jared. That was wild. Well, we're not going to get one. If a coach refuses to put in the backup, usually there's a reason. You know, if they secretly had an all-star, feel like Kelly would be more open to putting him in. All right, Jesse Love is closing in on Almirola. Twelve laps to go in the stage. So Almirola has the short run speed, but can he put it all together? Love, definitely. This car wakes up late in the run. What just happened with Austin Hill? Yeah. He just got loose running that low line. We've seen that from a few guys in today's race. So it seems like, when you have the grip down there on the painted line, you have the grip. But the second you slip, you're up the track. So some of these guys seem to be fighting handling a little bit. And now the front stretch is covered in shade. So we're going to see what happens here. You're watching our stream and watching Knuckles' TV show. I haven't seen that. A lot of people in this community, big fans of Sonic. I've learned that. I used to have a Sonic air freshener when I was like 16 hanging from my rear view mirror. Yes. Can't watch the Xfinity race till tomorrow. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Christian, you can on the CW app watch the battle cam. So you can go to the CW's website or their app, and you should be able to find the battle cam. So it's no commentary, but you can still see a battle on the track. They always highlight the, whatever the most entertaining battle they think is. So a lot of the times you're watching the leaders, but it is an option. It is an option. They said back in the spring they were going to put the races on the website, and then they just never did. So it's a little disappointing there. You're not a Sonic fan? I didn't say you were. Ah, that's why you're not on the battle cam. Well, that makes sense now. It's been a packed day. Tons of racing, college football, WWE. We streamed some NASCAR 25. It's been a wild day. Jesselev's fallen off a bit. 6 laps. I don't think he's going to close in on the leader. So it looks like Almirola is going to take this stage. Unless he just falls off over the next few laps. Looks like Love, he has better laps occasionally, but he's not consistent. 21 hours, 59 minutes. That's crazy. The Rolex 2159. Am I streaming NASCAR 25 again tomorrow morning? Probably not. Maybe. I mean, never say never. I stream at some pretty weird times. But in the mornings, I'm usually going to church. At least that's what I should be doing. That's why sometimes I don't stream the Cup race. Every once in a while, it will conflict. I am going to miss the Martinsville race weekend. I'm going to reiterate that. I'm going to be in New York City for a few days. So I'm going to miss that weekend. I know who you're talking about. That's exciting. Dude, imagine a team. You and me. Brandon. Sims. Playing that search and destroy mode. I should really say Counter-Strike mode. I'm sad that it's not an official game mode because there need to be more maps, and they also need to fix the ability to get on the roof. That's super busted. And then, it's a 5, person team, so we could even throw Jerry into the equation. All right, Love was able to close in. So, I mean, it seems like Love's able to run faster on certain laps, but then every once in a while he'll get a little loose and lose some time. You've lived in our streams. Yeah, I try to, Christian. I try to. I wish I could interact more on the NASCAR streams, but when I'm playing on my PlayStation setup back there, I have to use my MacBook to watch the chat. So when I'm focusing on the screen racing, the chat is off to my right and below, so I can't see until I pause or have a stage break or something. And I can't count the times that I've crashed trying to read the chat. So once NASCAR 25 comes in on PC, I'm probably going to switch over to mostly playing it on the PC. Unless I just like the feeling of the PlayStation controller too much. I don't know, maybe I can just hook up the PlayStation controller to the PC. I know I have the ability, but I really like the force feedback on the triggers on the PlayStation controller. It's really nice. We're going to play Battlefield 6 multiplayer after campaign. I haven't finished the campaign yet, but I need to. I probably wouldn't stream the Battlefield, but oh no, you can. I just haven't before, and I don't think my motherboard supports Bluetooth, so I would have to use it wired, which isn't a problem. But I mean, my Xbox controller's wired. Are games better on PC or about the same? You have more games to play on PC. You can play old games through emulation. You can play indie games that are in early access on Steam. You can even emulate up to Switch games as of right now. So I mean, there's so much you can do. Modding is easier. Ready or Not's fun. I'm sure it's decent on console, but Ready or Not with mods is a blast. Being able to just blow people's heads off with no regard for the rating system, that's very fun. Especially if there's a terrorist coming after you. Why can't I kill that guy? But yeah, so mods are great. I love playing on mouse and keyboard. It's just comfortable to me for most things, except for controlling vehicles. If I'm in a vehicle or even a superhero game, I usually switch back to controller. But It's nice. It's nice, but there's some complexity. You know, you have to update your system. You have to every few years replace parts or just replace the whole PC because it will slow down over time. So usually you want to get a high-end system. That way you can keep it for like 5-6 years at least. My first PC, I think I went about 5 years, maybe 6. Yeah, and I hate that because I used to be really good at controller. And I miss the aim assist because Call of Duty, the rotational aim assist is at an all-time high right now. And Treyarch actually came out and was like, hey, we're going to look into it. The aim assist is a little bit much right now. You're like 10 seconds ahead of me. Can you not do that? I have the game on right under the race. So I see it. Been glad for the touchdown. That's right. Go Tigers. So right now, it should be 20 to perhaps 7. Oh, there's a flag. That's great. I love that. I love that. Fantastic. It's really late too, so is it unsportsmanlike? No one looks worried. Could be unsportsmanlike. Defense looks like, yeah. Oh no, it was on offense. Unsportsmanlike. It was unsportsmanlike. Bang. Look at me. KN used PlayStation wheel on PC. That is correct. That is correct. I bought the G29 specifically so I could take it onto the PlayStation or use it on PC. And I bought Truck Simulator, American Truck Simulator, because it was like $4 on Steam. That's the thing about PC. The games on Steam are so cheap. But yeah, I might actually hook up my steering wheel and play some Truck Simulator. I already have my keybinds worked out. I'm ready to go. If you have more than 25 people, it's really unstable. I probably won't I probably won't be in a lobby that large anytime soon. But I'll keep that in mind. I've seen that you can pretty much wall ride and you don't lose any speed. So they really need to fix that. Hopefully they don't go overkill though. I don't want it to where like you scrub the wall and you know you come to a dead stop like some of the Heat games happen, you know, little invisible barriers into the wall like Martinsville. No, Nuss getting the passes in there. The thing is, Nussmeier's stats are really deceiving because he'll complete 80-90% of his passes sometimes, but most of them are like little 3-yard checkdowns. It lags really bad and crashes. I've heard that people have been having crashing issues, especially with multiplayer. I haven't had it happen yet. Haven't had it happen in the paint booth either. My biggest issue with the game right now, you know, the pit road stuff, like there's certain stuff I wish that they would fix. My biggest issue with the game right now is the touchpad on the PlayStation controller resets your car on the track. So you'd be going, you know, 190 miles an hour and you accidentally hit the touchpad, bam, dead stop on the track. And your car's ghosted and you end up, you know, losing 30 positions. I almost said 30 track positions, but, you know, same thing. I don't know if there's a way to unbind that or remap it to the D-pad because I hear it's up on the D-pad on Xbox, but it's awful because it's the biggest button on the PlayStation controller and it's where my thumb naturally sits. You know, I get a pretty long thumb on me, and so it just drapes right over the options button and right on the edge of the touchpad. And this is the thing with every game that has a touchpad feature. In 2K, I'll randomly call a timeout sometimes because I just accidentally tap it. That's my biggest problem right now. The pit road stuff can be fixed later. I ruined, I think, probably 4 or 5 races by doing the touchpad. Yeah, I haven't cut a corner yet. At Lime Rock and at Watkins Glen. There's only 2 tracks I've been at yet, road course wise. Lime Rock, I probably should have served a penalty. I was struggling in the ARCA car. Oh, great. Pass interference. This team, we get a touchdown. Let's go out here and self-destruct. I mean, he got there about the time the ball was getting there. Is that really PI? Maybe he got there a little early, like 0.1 seconds early. Well, they certainly don't help. You know, PI, extra set of downs, and you know, they move the ball up, whether they across midfield now or close. I want to see it again. I want to see how close it was. And from a different angle. Because PI is a very, like, opinionated call. Sometimes they'll let you outright, you know, murder or play patty cake with the receiver. And some other times it's like, if you kind of touch their arm, they throw it. So, you know. Targeting? Targeting? I think you're exaggerating a bit there. If you're the receiver, you're not a defenseless player, so it removes that aspect. Well, that's not targeting. Targeting, it can be PI, but you can straight up tackle the guy if the ball is about to be caught. Because you're trying to break up the pass. You just can't get there early. That's what I just want to see. I want to see how early it was. The strip looks so small on TV, but those buildings are massive. I'll walk that whole thing. 2 to 3 seconds early. You're high. You're high. You're that. No. At most, maybe a quarter of a second. 2 to 3 seconds early. No. I saw it. That is not right. 2 to 3 seconds early. The ball wouldn't have even been on screen if it was 2 to 3 seconds early. The penalties are kind of ridiculous if you get shoved off the track by AI. Yeah, I've seen how aggressive some of the runoff lines are at certain tracks. Like Circuit of the Americas, pretty 20 to 30. Yeah, okay. Well, South Carolina self-destructing here. That's good. Targeting, you know, you have to forcibly make contact with the crown of the helmet. And other times, you know, they will call it when it shouldn't be enforced. They're just like, oh, that's a hard hit. Let's, you know, call targeting. But it's supposed to be forcible contact from the crown of the helmet. And one of the things they look for is launching with the helmet. You can lay somebody out with your shoulder. As long as it's not to their head, they're not going to call targeting. Or they shouldn't, I should say. Incomplete pass. Let's go. All right, setting up for the final stage. And we are closing in on 10 minutes till sunset. Right now, I think we're at 13 minutes to sunset. I don't like how they call targeting anyway. Targeting should be, you know, ruled differently. Maybe 5 yards, maybe 10. No, not an automatic first down. Something like that. If it's just like pretty hard contact, like, okay, that's kind of dirty. If it looks intentional and you launch with the crown of your helmet and go helmet to helmet, then yeah, 15 yards, ejected, first down, whatever. You know, there need to be levels to it like they used to have with face masks. You meant Almirola? He looks good, but we'll see. You know, the track is now covered by the shade. So Whose car is going to like this shade the best? Man, Sam Mayer's car looks good. I would rather them review it, even though it doesn't really need to be reviewed. I would rather them review it than to, you know, let a bad call be made. Kyle Sieg's gonna win? You okay. Okay. You pick some interesting winners. Woo! Benedetto right there. Right there at the quarter panel shuttle grid. They've been running around each other all race. Yeah, we're not worried about sunset. Just the cars change. You know, once the track is in the shade and it starts to cool, the cars change, the balance changes. So that's what we're concerned about. We haven't had a caution for incident yet. We had a debris caution, that was it. All right, do they go for it here? They punt it. Maybe they have a guy with a leg who can try to make a field goal, but it looks like they're pretty far back right now. 4th and 16. Yeah, they're pretty far back. Huge Kyle Sieg W. If that happens, I like this hat too much to eat it, but maybe I'll find a hat to eat. All right, they punted. Yeah, that was way too long to attempt a field goal. That would have been like a record or near a record. If there weren't potential issues with getting it undone, because occasionally you can have that, I would totally do that right now. Get it undone whenever or if I ever want to. Low-key want Brandon Jones or Ryan Sieg to win. Only because you feel like Joe Gibbs owes him one after that was taken away from him the year Ty Gibbs took him out. That's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, Ryan's just had bad luck strike. You know, when he's had a car that looked capable of winning, he usually ends up, you know, getting involved in an accident or taking himself out. It's just some kind of bad luck. All right, Zilich out front. Jesse Love second. Almirola third. The top three cars are really close together. Zilich in Cup full-time next year. I have a feeling Zilich choose to collect points in Cup. I think you're right, Michael. I think he will. That makes the most sense. Michael's saying he thinks Zilich will choose to collect points in Cup. Zilich is only running a part-time schedule next year in Xfinity. So even if he was full-time, he would have a hard time winning the championship. You know, balancing both schedules, but I mean, he's going to miss races, so I guess he has to declare for Cup. But anyway, you can only gain points in one series. Used to, you could still run for a championship in the lower series as a Cup driver. Nowadays, you have to declare for which series you intend to run for. Since Haas is leaving Ford, who do you think will be the leading Ford team next year? That's really tough because Ford their Xfinity program is just dying. It's really sad to see. Yeah, Ram. It's really cool because they're funding 5 cars. 5 trucks, I should say. Zilich and Almirola make a little contact there. Might be a little tire rub on the right front of Zilich. This could affect the handling. Oh, that could be a day ender. That could be a day ender. We may have to root for Jesse Love here. Connor just washed up the track. Hey, I've done it before. I've done it several times. I run all over the AI. Former billion-dollar company Ram is now joining a multi-million-dollar company Ram. Is now, yeah, now just, yeah. Yeah, that's the saying. If you're going to make $1 million in racing, start with $1 billion. Playoff implications for sure. These composite bodies, they don't really bend back into shape after you sustain damage. Not well. So I'm not sure what they can do here. They need a caution. Haas to Chevy next year. Chevy has a Chevy has a very strong Xfinity program. Pretty strong in trucks as well. Yeah, it's not too bad. Oh my goodness. This offensive line sucks. They absolutely suck. We spent millions of dollars on these guys, and they suck. Daniel Dye, Andres Perez, Parker Retzloff, Stephon Parsons, Lawless Allen be the 5 colleague trucks. That's a pretty good lineup. That's a pretty good lineup. I would have to see if any of those guys have existing deals with the other manufacturers, but Lawless Allen is one that I've heard rumored. So that name sticks out. You know, there have been rumors that Cletus could be involved, but he said he isn't. Other people have said he is. I just know he built a Chevy bow tie swimming pool, so that would be a very strange purchase for a guy with a deal with Ram. So we'll see. We'll see. Talk to your doctor about your medical conditions. Hey, good first down there. Good first down. Retzloff and Perez, only 2 questionable. Still in deals. Ford struggling to find Xfinity. Go bad for Ford. You race when Heat Evolution next year. Still in PS4. Yeah. Yeah, carry the torch, Michael. Carry the torch proudly. Yeah, Ford really, you know, doesn't they do not have a lot of, you know, a lot of teams, even in Cup. You know, you have RFK, which has been growing, and you have Penske with the Wood Brothers affiliation. But those are the 2. And Toyota, I mean, you have JGR, and you have 2311. You could count Legacy Motor Club, but they don't really count. Honestly, Legacy Motor Club should switch manufacturers if, you know, Dodge or Honda or one of these other companies comes into the sport. to get that manufacturer money. I can't believe Johnson took him to Toyota after being a Chevy guy his whole career. You always run Fords in your games. You're a huge Ford guy. I understand. I'm that way with Chevy. All right, Almirola out front, 83 to go. Jesse Love, 8/10 back. This should be the longest run of the day if we go without a caution. And Jesse Love's car has been better on the long run. Ooh, false start. Yeah. Legacy needs to go to Dodge. That would be really cool, Michael. That would be really cool. For that specific reason. Like Ford trucks, but Chevy cars. Well, Chevy doesn't make cars anymore. Right now, the last model you can buy is the Malibu. And that's last year's model year. Next year's model year, they do not have any cars. Unless you count the Corvette. But they don't have any sedans. And Corvette may eventually be spun off into its own sub-brand. So, we'll see what happens there. Hopefully they don't do that. Because that idea sounded terrible. What's the chances Brett Holmes and Jeb Burton win the truck and Xfinity races at Talladega? About 1 in 30, something. 36, 37. However many enter the race. Talladega is just so iffy. Hey, I already asked. Can you not do that? You're about 10 seconds ahead of me. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for spoiling that. You know how excited I would have been to see that without you spoiling it in the chat? I mean, I've already addressed this like twice now. Okay, but if I know there's something good coming, it takes away the excitement. This is a big reason why I stay out of the group chat most Saturdays for the majority of the game. I also don't like being negative. I can be negative to myself. I can be negative after the game, during halftime. But if we're in the middle of the sucky situation, I don't want to feed that negative monster. Because that group chat gets heated. You'll have to remove the messages. What's done is done. My theory with Dodge 2026, Colleague trucks 27, Colleague Xfinity 2028, Colleague Cup. Yeah. I mean, there's a rumor they could possibly make it into the Cup by 27, but it's looking more like 28 at this moment. I wouldn't be too shocked if they waited until the new engine package. You'll atone. Do not do that. Do not come. Do not come. All right, Almirola has a second lead on Jesse Love. Zillage third, Allgaier fourth. So, a lot of these playoff guys up towards the front. Just saw a Safe Light commercial. I thought the guy got shot. The rock hit the window hard. Where are my notifications here? Oh my, they're still talking in the group chat. These people need to get a life. It's Saturday night. Do something. Watch NASCAR. Watch football. Go out. Go to the gym. Do something that isn't talking in the work group chat. Bunch of bums. And these are adults. Grown adults. That's so sad. Ryan C keeps ruining your predictions. You picked him to win his first race for the last 2 seasons and he keeps choking. Yeah. That's what we've been saying. You know, it seems like anytime he has a good run going, something bad happens. Whether it's his fault or he gets caught up in someone else's. Oh. Second down. People being late. Well, I mean, usually it's just like actual work-related stuff. Like our boss would be like giving us an update on something. But today it was a message about like work-related stuff on the weekend. And then it devolved into non-work related stuff. Like talking about mowing grass and stuff. Like, what are we talking about now? Just stop. I don't want to hang out after work. I don't want to, you know, go out to eat for lunch for an hour or two. Don't want to do that. I just want to work and go home. No, we don't have a personal chat. All of these are pretty much our whole team. There's a massive chat. Oh, come on. Yeah, Nuss might be back. Nuss might be back. That didn't look too underthrown. I want to see a replay of that. I want to see if he had to slow down at all. No, he's in. Oh, just a little bit. It's a little underthrown. He may be coming back. I don't want to overreact. But that was one of his best underthrown balls of the year. He had to slow down just a hair. I mean, just a little bit. That should have been a catch. Either way, that should have been a catch. If you can touch it, you should catch it. Just first shift, your department. I think we have ones that are just my company, and then we have ones that are just the whole program. Xfinity needs more forwards. I agree, Michael. I totally agree. Right now, it's basically the Chevy series. You hate how they only allow 3 cup charters besides Hendrick. Yes, I hate that. I hate that, Christian. It's stupid. Because having 4 cars is a huge advantage. Especially at like super speedways. It's a huge advantage to have 4 cars. And, you know, limiting other teams to running 4 chartered cars, that sucks. And I guess they can still run a 4th one as an open car, but that's still stupid. I don't know if that's the rule or not. I would have to go back and look at it, but yeah, I hate that. You'd love to see a 4th split between Heim and Kurt Busch. That'd be really cool. I don't know if Kurt wants to come back with how his concussion went. I don't even know if he's cleared nowadays. Because if he had been cleared, I think he would have come back. But, you know, once you have, you know, several repeated TBIs, your next ones can be more serious and they can be more easily achieved or obtained. I don't know. That's a weird way to put it. The risk of re-injury goes way up. So, I don't know. I would love to see him in a car again, but if it's dangerous for him, then I don't want to see it. Yeah, usually I say acquire, but I mean stealing. But that's a different way. Cup teams should be allowed to have 5 full-time. Yeah, I would like to see that. I don't know if anyone would actually run 5. Like maybe Hendrick on occasion, especially if a guy was getting towards the end of his tactically acquiring, that's right. Getting towards the end of their contract, then maybe they would, you know, run a 5th. Because, I mean, I'm sure they would love to have Zilich on the team next season. But, you know, all their cars are filled through 27, I think. Oh my goodness, Nuss. Oh my goodness. Well, South Carolina just tactically acquired the ball. What happened there? He just overthrow it? Did he actually overthrow a ball for once? Is old Nuss back? What is this game? It should be 21-7 right now. He just overthrew it. Oh my, that was an ugly throwing motion. That was all arm. I think Nuss just got worse. Hey, overthrowing, baby. Old Nuss is back. Golly, hit the ground hard. Old Nuss is back. Because that's what he used to do. That was his trademark. He was a gunslinger. He would overthrow guys, and that's usually when he would bring out the turnovers. And even with his inconsistent games, peak Nuss in prior years was way better than what we've seen this year. But his offensive line might have been a bit better. I mean, they were pretty bad last year, but at least they had Will Campbell, the flincher, who's an NFL star now. Jesse Love's closing in on Almirola, 59 to go. Closing in pretty close. Zilich as well. Be interesting to see if Zilich is actually gaining that time or if they're just, you know, running slow because they're near each other. That was just poor motion. You know, if you're a right-handed quarterback, you don't want to roll to your left and then try to, you know, squeeze the throw out because then it's across your body and it's an awkward motion. And Nuss, you know, did it there. And I believe the knee in the core, it's not letting him really step into his throws. And even though that was just kind of an arm throw, he overthrew it. Maybe because he's so used to compensating for his weakened core. Jesse Love coming in right behind Almirola on pit road. Allgaier came in a lap earlier. Be interesting to see if he can gain anything at all. Let's see Penske, RFK, Ryumi. All field at least one Xfinity car plus front row. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see the guys in Cup at least run one team in the lower series. I think that would be I would be okay with like limiting the teams to 3 full-time teams in Cup. Yeah, like if you had to do that, then one of the requirements for running in the Cup Series should be like at least having one team in Xfinity and trucks, or maybe either or. I think that'd be a cool way to help the lower series competitiveness. We're under green flag pit stop, so do not pay attention to the leaderboard right now. It can lie. Now, the reason why that may not be a good idea is because I don't think they make a ton of money in Xfinity and trucks. So a lot of these teams probably don't want to run a charity. But it would just be cool, you know, to go to an Xfinity race and have a Hendrick car out there, a JGR car, which you already kind of have that now, but, you know, a dedicated one. You know, Penske, RFK, all having, you know, at least one car. And then, you know, you would still have JRM, you would still have, you know, all the other teams, our colleague, you know, whoever else. But, I think that would keep it pretty competitive. Yeah, the leaderboard's going to shift quite a bit here. That's right, Michael. The leaderboard is lying right now. Can we just stop sucking? This has been an exhausting first half. Golly. Absolutely exhausting. I would love to score here. Get the ball back and score, but I don't know. They're probably going to take it very near to the end of the half, if not all the way. Seen Tricon jump to truck with Truex. You believe they could move to Xfinity? That would be cool, Christian. That would be cool. You have some good ideas. You have some good ideas. It's interesting seeing guys jump from being a Toyota development driver in trucks to jumping to JRM and Xfinity and then going right back to Toyota when they go back to Cup. That's an interesting pipeline. I miss KHI, and what was Keselowski's team name? Was it BKR or BKI? I forget what the name of their team was. But Keselowski's team, I missed that one. Because they were good development teams. I would love to see Kevin Harvick come back into the sport as an owner. Maybe split a charter with Earnhardt Jr. You miss Roush and Xfinity? Yeah. Yeah, I miss when SHR ran multiple cars. You know, multiple competitive cars. The Roush ride was kind of cursed, though. Was it the 60 that was cursed for the last several years? KH has some kind of partnership with Rackley and late model. Interesting. I know he sold off, like, you know, his assets, I guess maybe to Rackley. I don't know who it was to. But it would be interesting to see maybe if that's where Keelan ends up. But Keelan might be in the Ford pipeline. I would have to double check that. See what manufacturer he's running for right now. Because I think I saw something about that a while back, but I've forgotten what I saw. All right, come on. Do not take this into halftime tied up in Tiger Stadium. Oh my, we can't deal with a running quarterback. We just suck. We suck when there's no one is there to spy. The middle of the field's wide open for these little gap plays. How have they not figured this out? It's 2 years now. This has been an issue. 48 to go. Jesse Love has cycled to the front. All right, second down. Zilich is about 2/10 back from Almirola. Very close at the front. Keelan in a Chevy. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. But now is a Keelan is Ford. We have two different reports here, conflicting reports. So is he in a Chevy currently and maybe he has a Ford deal for later? I forget what I saw about it, but it's either one of those two. He's not going to Toyota. Let's go ahead and we can rule that one out. Not going to Toyota. So we've narrowed it down. We have a 50-50. I don't know if Kevin has a great relationship with the Chevy guys. Because, you know, when he switched over to SHR, he was very successful over there. Especially once they were with Ford. You know, he had some rough years with RCR while he was with Chevy. So I don't know how big of a fan he is of Chevy. Double A says he should go to Toyota. If they want to build their pipeline back up, then, you know, that would be the option. But they would need more competitive teams. Like when Kyle Busch's team shut down. That was a huge loss to the Toyota development program. All right, Zilich into P2. Jesse Love in the lead. Is it going to come down to a fight between friends? We still have a long way to go. 45 laps. That's about the length of the first stage. I mean, they're running close. Delay of game, loss of down. What's the call here? I don't have closed captioning on. Intentional grounding, 4th and 30. If I just looked at the screen instead of looking at your comment, I probably would have seen it pop up. What are you doing? I may have just seen the most, I want to say a word that would offend some people. The retard word. He almost got a safety. He almost got a safety there. Absolute idiocy. What was that? Brian Kelly needs to make him run laps around the stadium at halftime. That was a bonehead move. Now we're starting basically in the end zone because this idiot can't fair catch. I know it's inside the 10, but if it's that far back, let it bounce. I mean, why even risk muffing it that far back? Guys all around you. I mean, there were so many better options than what just happened. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Daniel Hemrick right now outrunning our leaders. I guess on fresher tires. Interesting. Daniel Hemrick, he's going to come back and win. Only ran 2 manufacturers. First 16 for Chevy. Final 7 for Ford. Like Tyler's coming to trucks from ARCA. Think he could go to Nice either as Honeycutt's replacement. Interesting. Or Perez's replacement. Interesting. You know, I think that, you know, bring up a good point with Tyler there. I think a great side effect of the NASCAR 25 game is a lot more people will become familiar with some of the ARCA drivers. I think that's really going to... Yeah, Myrtle Beach, yeah. Short track. I think Junior ran there quite a bit. I actually have his late model. Probably have it. Maybe over here. I have his mom and pop's late model. Not many people know ARCA exists. Yeah. Yeah, most people just refer to it as NASCAR if they even bring up ARCA. Which, I mean, they own, you know, ARCA, but it is a NASCAR. Remember Memphis? I do remember Memphis. Really sad that track no longer exists. Never got to go while they ran there. Every once in a while, I drive by there. South Boston Speedway exists. You got season tickets every year? I mean, you know, giving the ball back, they're probably gonna be on midfield, one timeout left. So that's not great, but you know, if you can take it into half with a 3-point lead, it's better than a no-point lead. Only pet peeve about ARCA. Some of the races should be like 20 to 40 laps longer. Yeah, that could help. Perhaps. My biggest issue with ARCA is on any given week, there's only like one, maybe two, you know, competitive cars. You might get three, you know, maybe if you're lucky. It's rough. It is rough out there in ARCA. Are you talking about Sieg? That's hilarious. ARCA was first named the Mark? I haven't heard that. Interesting. I missed when it was called the ARCA Remax series. That's what I was thinking the M stood for. That was my first guess. Good hit there. Good hit there. Right in his stomach. Turn that man into Garrett Nussmeier too. That would be interesting. That would certainly be interesting to have a win limit. That would be crazy. That would be pretty wild. I don't know. That would be just so expensive to have to transition because you won too much. So I don't know if they could really enforce that, but it is kind of annoying that Gibbs, you know, is running down in ARCA. You know, imagine if Hendrick was running in ARCA equipment, especially with all their Gen 6 experience. I mean, it wouldn't be fair, you know. Then you would just have two competitive cars each week. It would be a JGR Hendrick show. It is kind of crazy. Budweiser Late Model Sportsman Series. And I guess Busch Grand National. And then just the Busch Series. I missed the Busch Series. That was easy to say. The Busch Series. Now we're gonna have the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. I wasn't bringing up the Nationwide era. I was just saying, you know, Budweiser late model sportsman. We didn't just jump from that to Nationwide. You know, we ran Busch Grand National and Busch for a while. Caution is out. Dean Thompson around. Yeah, I'm very aware of the Nationwide era. Took me years to stop calling it Busch and to move on to Xfinity. Not Xfinity. Move on to Nationwide. Then as soon as I get used to Nationwide, we move on to Xfinity. Now I've gotten used to Xfinity. And now I'm going to have to start saying O'Reilly Auto Parts series. That's horrible. Horrible. That's horrible. They do it for pure stocks at your local dirt track. 4 have a 25 win limit. Pure stocks 50, and the rest are fine. But after you're out of pure stocks, they go to semi-lates. Interesting. O'Reilly, yeah, O'Reilly. Xfinity, O'Reilly. I guess that's the same amount of syllables. So O'Reilly series, I might be able to adjust to that. I might be able to. So Zilich to the lead. Jesse Love second. Almirola third. Allgaier fourth. Nick Sanchez fifth. Ryan Sieg in seventh. And Kyle Sieg in 23rd. So where's that Kyle Sieg W I've been hearing about? Man, Dean Thompson is losing it. Hey, that's me. That's me on NASCAR 25. In a level 1, level 2 truck. Annunziata, Jeremy, Massey. Yeah, way off the pace. Several cars. I didn't even know Trevor Bayne was in this race. I see Sims just got on Battlefield. Yeah, I should probably step away too to get ready for this final run. What will probably be the final run. We may get some cautions here. Cautions breed cautions. Sheldon Creed gonna make the final 4 and pull a Hemrick 2.0 at Phoenix. Yeah, I had no clue Trevor Bayne was in the race. I didn't look that far down the running order. I like Trevor. He has a coffee shop, I think in Tennessee. You can order coffee from him. And in every package, he sends an autograph. So if you want Trevor Bayne's autograph, buy some coffee from him. Trevor Bayne, 24. I believe so. I like seeing him when he runs for Gibbs, but Almirola's kind of stolen that seat. the other SHR, that's funny. That's nice. baby. He's a baby. Ugh, gross. You hope the Burton rumors are true that SHR keeps Thompson 26 and puts Burton in the 24. Like a second driver could help Dean win races and get that little bit more. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, I would definitely love to see more Fords in the field to even out the manufacturer balance. Somebody said, Almirola thought, yeah. He's back. He's back. Been running pretty well this year, too. I think more drivers need to just drop down to Xfinity if they have any sponsorship to take with them. Chevy's nowadays not reliable. I don't know, Michael. I don't know. My Camaro's been doing pretty well. I've heard of people having issues, but I haven't had a single issue yet. Of the car's doing or of my doing. I've had people bump it with their doors. So there's a few scuffs on it, one dent on it. But no mechanical issues. Yet. Yeah, I was hoping he would run more. It sounded like he was going to run more races, and it just didn't materialize. A little odd. All right, here we go. Getting ready to restart. IMSA has 25 or so minutes left in the race. Well, if they run green to the end, this race should wrap up first. We'll see if they can run green. Yeah, I think you'll have time. If this race runs green, I think you should be able to switch over to IMSA to watch the end of that race. Hopefully a Cadillac is out front. Jesse tried to take it 3 wide inside below the apron there. Yeah, you're right, Christian. You're right. Cautions breed cautions. That's exactly right. You see that pretty frequently. You know, they'll run really clean through stage 1. And then after that stage 2 caution, it's just a bunch of accidents. But it seems like we're clean so far. They're all over each other, though. One wrong move, and we have another caution. And maybe possibly a big one. All right, Zillage just slipped up. He's going to be able to side draft back. Blocking the 48. Zillage slide job. Move Zillage back to P1. Clear. Nick Sanchez. Oh my goodness. Nick Sanchez and Almirola contact. Woo! 31's leading and 6 is chasing closely. Okay. Yeah, if I wasn't streaming, I would have Peacock up on a separate device. my one of my TVs. I have two TVs in here. One of my TVs has wheels on the stand, so I can roll it into the living room. That's a nice way to do it. And then I bring the laptop in there. I put a separate program on that. Man, that's the OG multi-view. All right, Sanchez is still pressuring on Almirola. They want to work together with him for a bit, see if they can draft up to the leader. The 11's leading by 53 seconds. Yeah, should be safe. Should be safe as long as they take care of it. Sanchez loose again. He probably needs to block here. Jessilov not able to close in there, but maybe he can get the momentum off of turn 4. Close. These guys are running all over each other. Looks like Sanchez's car just doesn't have the handle on it to close in. GTD Pro 48's leading by 16. Not bad. GTD 21's leading by 1.5. That's really close, yeah, especially for an endurance race. It's always crazy how close some of these battles can be after, you know, such a long race. Yeah, 24 without changing drivers would be absolutely insane. The drivers would have to be on amphetamines and perhaps like an IV bag. So Love falling back. He's ran well all day, but he's fallen back to 5th currently. 16 laps to go. Almirola about 7/10 back from Zilic. Can anyone run down Almirola? Almirola is closing in on Zilic. All of this for an Almirola win. Are we really going to see Almirola sweep all 3 stages? I don't want to see this. Are you serious? That's what they called back? Oh, punched out. Wow. Wow, it could be 17-0 right now. Man. All right, Allgaier are able to get by Sanchez. Handle's just not there. Joey Hand crashed. 30 seconds in. Oh, good heavens. 4th and 5th in GTD. My wife's sister, her husband, went to the IMSA race a couple weeks ago in Indy. Or was saying he needs to go to the 24 because it's for all of the days of racing you get, it's not very expensive to go to the 24 hours. Almirola is about to win this one. Looks like. Maybe Almirola is burning his stuff up, but I think Almirola, you know, is the experience here. Ooh, look at Jesse Love was a little loose there. Looked like that car took off down the track. Almirola's there. There's 83 points ahead of the 81 in GTD Pro. The vet's basically locked into the championship. Very nice. Very nice. I have a Corvette racing hat. Almirola to the lead. What a shame. Oh my goodness. He better not. He better not ruin this championship race. Almirola. I want to see a replay of that. Almirola's an idiot. I don't want to see part-timers in the playoffs while we have a playoff system, because if he ruins Zilich's, you know, championship chances here, we have to burn the place down. He has a huge points lead though, so he's probably locked into the next round, barring a crazy happenstance. That was really, really odd there. Allgaier's there. Second, 1.3 seconds back. You know, I don't think he's going to close in, but if these guys can get side by side... Okay, Zilich just lost the handle. It's over. Well, we're looking at an Almirola win here. All of that for an Almirola win. When he wins a race, you know, I like seeing the veterans get a win, but when he wins a race, especially, you know, in Xfinity, I feel the joy leave my soul. I don't like seeing part-timers run over guys that are racing for a full season championship. You know, if you're going to be a cup guy or a part-timer coming into the Xfinity series in this playoff era, you can race for the win, but you have to race very respectfully. And I've seen Almirola make a few moves this year that I did not take kindly to. I don't think he did really anything wrong there, so that's not really on him too much. Can Zilich somehow, some way find some extra speed in this car? That's exactly what I was thinking, Michael. Exactly what I was thinking. Because then a part-time guy can come in, and you know, if he upsets them for, you know, one race, it may not ruin their season. You know, he's close. He's close, and he's coming back down the track pretty well. He's gonna lose a bit of time here on the backstretch. He's really wrapping that bottom well. Oh, he's so loose. Oh man, I wish they would show the steering wheel camera if they had one. I bet he is fighting that thing, especially through 3 and 4. It is all over the place. 4-wheel slide there. Come on, Zilic. Come on. Make something happen. He's just lost so much time. It was a good run. Zilic tried to run him back down. Kept it interesting. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. One and 6 are pitting. That could be huge. Yeah, very impressive by Zilic. You know, a lot of times when you get passed as the leader, you know, falling off over the course of a run, when you get passed, it's over. You're going to fall back. But it was pretty impressive that he tried to run him back down and handled that loose race car so well. That was impressive. Well, Almirola gets the win. It's a little disappointing, but, you know, for Toyota fans, for Almirola fans, you know, congratulations. Not my cup of tea. I guess that means no one's locked in, right? I guess the 19 car might be locked into the Owners' Championship, but I want to see the points before we end the stream. Zilic probably still leading. Allgaier probably second still. We'll see. It's crazy how smooth Zilic was. You know, he had a couple slips, but when he was wrapping the bottom and the back end was just dancing around, that was wild. I didn't think it was too dirty. Like, I've seen Almirola do much worse things this season. So compared to other races Almirola's been in, this was relatively clean, but he did make contact a few times. My opinion is during this playoff era, if you're a part-timer or if you're a cup guy and you're, you know, inserting yourself into, you know, people trying to make the playoffs or part-time guys during the playoffs, you need to race super respectful. You can race for the win, but you need to be treating the situation with kid gloves. Because imagine he takes out Zilic there. Zilic finishes, you know, let's say down here in the 30s, and then he goes and gets in the big one next week. You know, that would put him in jeopardy of not making the cut line. 22 GTP car has a flat tire with 10 minutes left. That's not good. I didn't think it was like crazy. He made contact a few times. I would like to see a replay of that little run-in he had with Zilic at the very end. That's not the only time they made contact either during the race. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I'll put it that way. But I mean, to be racing that aggressively though, in the middle of the playoffs, that's kind of a jerk thing to do. That's kind of been my opinion on Eric all year. Can we get a look at the points? We had one spin. One caution for incident, I believe. That was a pretty clean race. 31's now 13 seconds ahead of the 6. Unless something happens, the GTP race is over pretty much. Yeah, Dean Thompson. That was the one. I don't have a replay of that. At the moment, at least. Let's see if the CW posted. 191 beats per minute under caution for Connor Zillage. That's crazy. Yeah, we don't really have a good replay of it. Really? Jesse Love and Sanchez. Interesting. I wonder what that's about. I want to see if I can find the points. I wonder if they've posted the... Yes. Good. Good. I want to see the Xfinity points if he'll post these. In full season points, Connor Zillage has almost locked it up already. That's crazy. Kind of arguing in love, punched him in the chest. It's a little heated argument, I guess. Nothing crazy. I'm not following BJ McLeod. Let's do that. Let's see if we can get the standings of the Xfinity Series. I'm not sure if this is updated. No, I don't think this is. Jesse Love, 2 points under. So they haven't updated the points yet. Online. But that'll pretty much do it for us, guys. I'm going to go watch the LSU game. We may be live like way later. Maybe. We need to finish the Battlefield campaign. And then obviously we're going to be playing a lot more NASCAR 25. We are going to be live tomorrow for the NASCAR Cup Series race. And we will also be live for our post race. So look for that tomorrow. Look for those 2 streams, at least 2 streams. A lot of content coming over the next, I guess, few weeks. What do I think of Porsche Penske pulling out of World Endurance? Disappointing. Double A, it was nice having you. Nice having you as well, Dark Side, while you've been here. Michael, Christian, good to see you. Doodlebug, Denny Hamster fan. That's Hamlet fan, I guess. I think that's his alternate account. King is dead. Try not to miss anyone, but I'm sure I will miss someone. I don't even know if I can go back all the way. Orrin Smith, yeah. You were in here a while. Yeah, good to have you guys. Looking forward to the Cup race. Hopefully it's decent. Hopefully we don't see a ton of aero blocking. But even if we do, we'll be here. We'll be here to talk about it. So see you guys, if not tonight or early tomorrow. I'll see you guys